Hello and welcome. You are listening to the Happier Life podcast. I'm your host, Clare Deacon. After deciding survival wasn't enough, I set out on a path to live my best life. I wanted to thrive. Now I'm on a mission to support others. Think you're not good enough, confident enough, brave enough? I'm here to tell you you are, and you can achieve anything. This is your time, so let's do this. Hello and welcome back to the Happier Life podcast. I'm Clare Deacon, your trauma-informed therapist, positive psychology coach, and the founder of Happya. And today we're talking about something that comes up a lot, especially with women who've been through trauma or who've spent years people-pleasing and holding it all together. And that is this question. Am I setting a boundary or am I just avoiding the truth? It is sometimes hard to tell the difference, especially when your nervous system has learned that protection means distance. So, this episode is for you if you've ever said, I'm just setting boundaries, but deep down you're wondering if you're actually avoiding discomfort or if you've pulled away from people or situations and called it self-care but felt disconnected or guilty or confused, or if you've been praised for having strong boundaries but you're still feeling anxious, resentful, or unsafe inside. I want to start by saying this. There is no shame in avoidance. Avoidance is protective, it's your nervous system trying to keep you safe, and that's not failure, that's survival. But if we want to live fully, if we want to embrace our happier life, if we want to have relationships that feel truly nourishing, if we want to feel proud of how we show up, then we have to start getting honest about the difference between healthy boundaries and protective avoidance. So let's start with what's the difference. Boundary is something you create from a place of clarity and self-worth. It's based on your values, your needs, and your capacity. It sounds like I'm not available for that right now, or I love you, I also need space. Or perhaps it's I want to support you, but not at the cost of my own well-being. And a true boundary feels empowering. It might be uncomfortable, sure. It comes with that overall sense of relief and a sense of alignment. Like, yes, this is the right choice for me. On the other hand, avoidance is driven by fear, not clarity. It's not, I don't want this. It's more like, I'm afraid of what will happen if I say yes or no or show up fully. It might sound like, I just can't deal with that person, or I'm too busy right now, or perhaps it's, I'm fine on my own anyway. And deep down, it comes with anxiety and disconnection, or even at times shame. It's a way of trying to stay safe by staying away. And again, there's no shame in that. But we want to notice it so we don't confuse survival strategies with self-worth. I remember a time early in my healing when I told myself I was setting boundaries, when really I was just shutting people out completely. I'd been hurt so many times and I didn't know how to hold that nuance. So it was all or nothing. If someone upset me, I cut them off. If something felt hard, I avoided it. And yes, that gave me space, but it also made me lonely and disconnected and missing those opportunities for true connection by understanding and appreciating someone for their values and their side of perspectives and stories that they tell. It wasn't until I did the nervous system work and the emotional work that I could start setting boundaries from a place of truth, not just fear, from a place of authentic authority, making sure that my needs and wants were met. So, how do you know which one you're doing, really? Here are just a few ways so that you can check in with yourself and ask that question: is this a boundary, or is this coming from a place of avoidance? So ask yourself, is the boundary coming from self care or self protection? Does this choice feel aligned or does it feel avoidant? Are you acting from your values or from your wounds? Do I feel relief or fear when I set this boundary? And here's the big one. Am I willing to stay in the conversation even if it's uncomfortable? Or do I need to disappear completely? Because boundaries are about staying connected with yourself and others, but still honouring your needs. Avoidance is about disconnection. It says, I can't cope, I need out. And don't get me wrong, sometimes that's valid and it's necessary. And we all are aware of moments in our lives where we've needed to do that. And sometimes we've needed to do it sooner than we've done it in the past. But if it's the only tool we're using, it can keep us stuck and isolated. So let's talk about what this can look like in real life. Maybe you stop replying to messages, but you tell yourself you're just protecting your peace. Maybe you cancel plans, not because you're tired, but because you're anxious and unsure of how to show up. Maybe you leave a relationship without explaining why and call it boundaries. But it's really about avoiding conflict or feelings of rejection or perhaps judgment. Again, no shame. These are nervous system responses and they're deeply human. But what we want is choice, not compulsion. We want to respond, not just react. So, how do we begin the shift? It first begins with being honest with yourself. So, asking yourself, what am I protecting and what am I afraid might happen if I show up here? Then regulate yourself. Use grounding techniques and tools to help your body feel safe enough to stay in discomfort without abandoning yourself. And then clarify, what do I need? What do I want? What feels true for me? It's not about what do others expect or what feels safest in the moment. And this is where things get confused. We focus on the people pleasing response to keep ourselves feeling safe rather than focusing on what your needs are and what you truly want and finding the middle ground of how that can be met. So, this might sound like I need to pause this conversation and come back to it, or perhaps I can't say yes right now, but I still care about you or what you're asking me to do. I'm feeling overwhelmed, so I need some space, but I'm not walking away completely. Ask for a moment to think about your response when you can calm that nervous system so that you can come from a space of authenticity rather than reacting. Boundaries can be clear and they can be kind. They don't have to be harsh or cold or final. In fact, the most powerful boundaries are rooted in connection and compassion and are often met with more respect because people have a greater understanding because you communicate in a way that expresses what your needs are and your rationale about that so people can relate to it and understand. I want to say too that avoidance is often learned if you grew up in chaos or unpredictability, or perhaps you weren't allowed to express your needs or emotions. Your body may have learned the only way to feel safe is to shut down or disappear. But the sign of emotions or needs not being met was too much, too overwhelming. And as an adult, that shutting down might look like ghosting. It might be avoiding hard conversations or retreating the moment you feel vulnerable. Again, these things aren't a flaw. It's not about being broken. It's a strategy that you've adopted. But now you get to choose whether those strategies are serving you, whether they are allowing you and enabling you to live the life that you want to live, or whether they're keeping you stuck in that survival cycle. If you're listening and thinking, this is me, I've called it boundaries, but really I've been pulling away, please know you're not wrong for doing that. You are surviving. And the fact that you listen to podcasts like this shows that you're looking for something different, shows you're looking for growth. You're looking for that safety, that direction, that signposting of how you can do it differently. So now you have the awareness to do it differently. I want to invite you to reach out to me. Send me a message, whether that's through Instagram, on the website, on the podcast. You can get in contact and let me know what's coming up for you, whether it's boundary confusion, nervous system overwhelm, or just a sense that you're ready to reconnect with yourself. You're looking for something different. I'll signpost you to support that feels right for where you are right now, that can meet your needs. Because boundaries shouldn't leave you feeling isolated and burnt out. They should feel like safety from the inside out. They should be a bridge back to yourself, not a wall around your life. Hopefully, this has resonated, given you something to think about. So, thank you for being here, for being willing to ask yourself the hard questions. And thank you for choosing growth over comfort. I'll see you next week, where we'll explore what it really means to rebuild yourself after losing who you are. And just want to take a moment. So, if you find these podcasts useful, doing this kind of reflection, then often that works through journaling. And I know for some of you, it's quite difficult to get started with journaling or knowing what to do, what to say. And that's why I've just launched a series of journal prompts that will land in your inbox every Sunday morning that will support you in exploring questions and starting to learn to hear your own voice. And it's the Blooming Happier journal series. I will drop the link in the notes if that's something that would take your interest. It's £9 for 6 months of you receiving me in your inbox every Sunday with journal prompts and support and guidance of what may help you undertake that reflection and dive into some of these topics in a little bit of a deeper way. So that just leaves me to say thank you for being here, for showing up for yourself. And until next time, take care of you. If you've enjoyed this episode, ensure you hit subscribe, head on over to my website, happiercoach.com, sign up for the weekly newsletter, and let me support you in living a happier life. I'm your host, Clare Deacon. Thank you for listening. Have a fabulous day.